What kid is this fitting? It's gotta be like a baby. The baby can't even decorate anything. Like what? Oh, it's ready to eat raw because they use heat-treated infection. Safe to eat raw, so I could just plop it in my mouth.
No, we're not about to do that.
Gotta stay clean.
Yeah, that's small. Huh? They small. That's fine.
But they don't extend a little bit out, so I'm just gonna pull out just raining like that. I could just eat one. Let me just eat one.
How's it taste?
Like sugar cookie dough.
One more shit. I just feel
And now go ahead. I feel like it's done.
There we go.
Oh, I don't know. He's not.
It's off. Then they done.
You sure?
Yeah.
I think we should let it sit for like. All right. All right, welcome back, wormlings. It's the last week of Spooktober, and I got my girl with me again.
Okay.
And we got Mitzi back again with her witch hat on. She's trying her best, same costume. It's okay. If y'all didn't peep in the thumbnail, can you guess what we are? I know it's kind of a struggle to see yours, but
See, I'm trying to put my head there like shit.
what Mike is so
Y'all know what it is, man.
for our final costume for our Halloween episode.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Or what's the name of it?
Dios los muertos.
Let's not steal Lo Muerto. That's the day after.
Oh, what you talking about then?
There's a term for Halloween. What is it called? What's the original name of Halloween? I'm probably gonna.
I did a whole video on this. Oh my
You
goodness.
did, didn't you?
I did.
You should know this.
My video's also dropping today, y'all. But like, I don't remember.
So go check out her video too. Y'all saw we made our cookies earlier. Our ghost shaped. Well, they're not ghost shaped, but they got the ghost imprint cookies, sugar cookies. Shout out to what is it, Pillsbury or something?
Yeah.
Good shot.
Tasty.
I accidentally dropped 4 on the floor, and that did a number on me, but it's okay.
It's okay.
So, as y'all saw from the title, today we're reading Wattpad horror stories. Ooh, okay.
Dun, dun.
Missy said, I'm finna get the fuck on.
Yeah, she's like, I'm done with that spooky shit.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put Missy down here. We're a little short on space. Down here in a little setup. My floor pillow. It's really just a dog bed. It's only so big.
We're gonna be reading spooky stories from Wattpad, and yeah, hope y'all enjoy it.
Eating some cookies.
And some cookies. You get to hear my storytelling skills.
You can hear the storytelling skills of on her channel too.
Yeah, you can check it out. Check it out.
She put out a video reading horror stories from Reddit. So we're kind of great minds think alike, you know.
Yeah, like, for sure.
So I went ahead and took the liberty and picked out a story for her and for me. Bay is going first, and we've already demolished the majority of the cookies.
They did the make it true.
And we haven't even started reading yet, but oh well, it'll be okay.
It's
So
fine.
I'll let you do the honors and
Are you
give us
ready,
your
Worms?
best storytelling skills.
All right, Wormlings. We'll be reading one of the short thriller stories by the artist Melody Ferrero. Short story that I'm going to be reading is The Killer's Portrait. You ready? Y'all get comfy, grab your snacks, relax, and enjoy the story. October 28th, 1899. He first laid eyes on Dorothea Moore in a rose-scented museum buried deep within the town of Rainsburg. Her auburn hair, luscious eyes, and carmine lips were enough to irrevocably lure him in. Augury Museum was notoriously known for housing some of the most infamous portraits in history. The portrait of Annabella Archer, a 16-year-old girl who had killed her parents in a fire. The portrait of Claire Winchester, who, at the age of 17, had murdered her parents and hung her sister out of vengeance. But the most scandalous portrait of all was Dorothea's. And her tale was one that still haunted the residents of Rainsburg to this day. On the night of September 13th, 1822, at the age of 18, and beneath a blood moon, Dorothea smothered her mother with a pillow in her sleep. Some say it was in a fit of rage, others claimed insanity, and some even talked of witchcraft. But whatever the reason for the haunting memory that transpired, the residents of the idyllic town were both feared and fascinated by her. However, the tragedy didn't end in 1822. It simply paused. There was an epilogue that had yet to be penned. At the end of the story, that when read, will leave an indelible mark on Ryansburg forever. Zach Sinclair had always been the quiet type. He was reserved and kept to himself, yet people still admired him, although he never really understood why. Maybe he was a familiar face, maybe it was his personality, or maybe it was his tendency to listen without judgment. However, despite being quiet, he was rebellious. He wasn't afraid to bend the rules every now and then. But the one thing had differed about him was that he never believed the rumors that plagued Ryansburg or Dorothea. To him, everything was a hoax, whereas others would be afraid. Zach was enchanted. As he stood in front of her portrait, he thought that there was no way a woman as stunning as her would commit such an egregious act. But as Zach would soon learn, beauty was the loveliest disguise for darkness. Augury Museum was shrouded in opulence. The floor was made from resplendent marble. The walls were covered in pristine gold. A gilded chandelier hung from the domed ceiling, and a vase of blue hydrangeas sat perched up top a table alongside a carved statue of Aphrodite wearing a crown. He ventured further into the museum and into the exhibit that contained Dorothea's portrait. She had her own separate wing, and Zach swore he saw her eyes glint in the wan candlelight as he held her gaze. There were several portraits of her, the infamous one of her standing over her mother's bed with an embroidered pillow, one of her 4 years after the murder, one as her as a child. She had a false smile on her face, red rimmed eyes, and a daffodil in her hair. Her name was listed underneath the painting in gold lettering, Dorothea Emily Moore. She was an only child, belligered by Magdalene past, but of course, that didn't deter him from instantly falling in love with her little brother.
Turning into like a love story to
Fall in love with against. Zach may not have believed in a lot of things, but he did believe in love at first sight. Stupid motherfucker. Okay, he looked into her eyes again, profoundly and unwavering, and suddenly a peculiar sensation crept over him. He felt unlike himself, almost as if he trapped inside of someone else's body. At first, he didn't think much of it. He dismissed it as a feeling of serenity, as a sense of calm that washed over him in Dorothea's presence. But little did Zach know that this would be the start of a bittersweet tragedy. Wait. A gust of wind suddenly filled the museum, and the sharp scent of asphaltos permeated the air. The stained glass windows became completely devoid and all light, and the chandelier above started to rattle, its delicate flames flickering on and off. When everything ceased, Zach turned around and saw none other than Dorothea Moore, standing in front of him.
Wow.
With one final glance at him, she slowly put her finger to her lips, and as quickly as she arrived, she retreated back inside the painting. Okay, we're not done yet.
You done called the demon.
So we move forward to October 29th, 1899. Zach paced the halls of Rainsburg High, blending in seamlessly in the crowd. To everyone around him, Zach was the epitome of a golden teen. A stellar student, a pretty girlfriend, and a scholarship to one of the most prestigious universities in Rainsburg. From the outside looking in, he seemed to have it all. But that castle that he built would soon crumble. That morning, something had felt off. Zach couldn't exactly pinpoint it, but a strange unease settled over him. After his classes, he met his girlfriend, Liana, on the rooftop, as they often did to watch the sunset together. It was Zach's retreat, his safe haven from the rest of the world. And in a way, Liana was too. Liana O'Brien was the rainbow after a thunderstorm, like a daisy in a barren field. She was the kind of girl who brought candlelight with her, even on the darkest night. Her presence made Zach's life worth living. She wasn't just a pretty girlfriend. She was so much more than that. Much, much more. She was the girl who slipped handwritten notes in his locker. She was the girl who always carried a miniature Polaroid to capture the unseen moments. The girl who fed stray cats on her way to school. The girl who once told Zach that she believed that everyone carried ghosts inside of them. Not the scary kind, but rather fragments of those they loved and lost. Liana was an angel, one who was destined to fall. Oh, damn. As she wandered towards the ledge, unsuspectingly, her eyes roving over the cityscape, Zach hung back. The peculiar feeling didn't recede, but rather intensified. He hadn't understood at first. Not until he seen Dorothea's portrait. Oh shit. The moment his gaze locked in hers, something inside him had shifted. Now, standing just a few feet away from Liana, the sensation bloomed into something dark. something malevolent. He tried to resist it by looking away from Liana, afraid of maiming her, but the strange thing about feelings is that, in the end, they always get the best of us. His eyes flickered, turning a pale shadow of luscious blue, eerily similar to Dorothea's. That was when the harrowing realization overcame him. He had been cursed by the killer's portrait. His fist clenched at his sides, and ever so slowly he advanced towards her. Liana craned her head around and smiled up at him, her irises a soft shade of amber filled with softness that made the rest all too horrifying. Her smile faltered as she noticed the change in his eyes. She didn't scream, not at first. Maybe she thought it was just a trick of the light, or maybe she still believed, even in that final moment, that he never hurt her. But then he shoved her. A piercing scream rippled through the air as she fell off the roof and onto the pavement below. Damn! All that was left behind was the purple hyacinth Zach had placed in her hair. The next day, Zach had no recollection of what he'd done to Liana. When the news spread that she had fallen off the roof of the school, he just assumed it was an accident. A tragic one, of course. But he never suspected that her death had been anything more than just a slip of the ankle. Of course, he was utterly devastated when he found out about Liana's death. It had been 3 years. It had been their 3-year anniversary that day, and he had everything planned for her. A romantic candlelight dinner and a walk by the lakefront. A perfect night under the stars in a field of dandelions, just for the two of them. Yet Zach couldn't shake the sensation that something was wrong. You think?
Very wrong, yeah.
That evening, he returned to the museum. Questions flooded his mind about what had happened to him. Of course, he knew that Dorothea had changed him in some manner, but he needed to know why. The museum was quiet and dark when he entered. So you don't go to the museum? You just gonna walk up in there?
Right.
Scented with lavender and casting an ominous shadow of dread in the pit of his stomach. Looming over him, the center of the room, was Dorothea's portrait. The museum went dark. Suddenly, as Zach felt chills creep up his spine. The sole flame of the candelabra, whatever, was snuffed out, and it wasn't until he heard candelabra. Yeah, I think that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, was snuffed out, and it wasn't until he heard her saturnine, velvety voice that he saw her standing in front of him once more. "Hello, Zach," she whispered softly. "You come back to me." He blinked once, and what happened next seemed to resemble phantasmagoria rather than reality. Did I say? Phantasmagoria. She used a lot of big words.
Phantasmagoria.
She got good vocabulary. I need to up my vocab. Okay, she been using the words. Use that vocabulary. I don't know. Why, Dorothea? I'm saying right, Dorothea. What did you do? What happened to me? A slow whistle smile curved her lips. Oh, my love, you already know. Deep down, you've always known. I had to get rid of her. She would have ruined everything. She couldn't understand that you and I were meant to be, she said, gently caressing his face. Confusion littered his features, and before he could say anything else, Dorothea spoke. I know this is incredibly hard for you to comprehend, my darling, she murmured, but I promise you it will all be over soon. The noise, the doubt, the pain, it will all subside. All you You're gonna join me.
On your side.
All you need to do is trust me. There was something in her tone, lyrical and belligerent, that stirred something within him. As he gazed deeper into her eyes, she saw a spark in them, a valiant flame that burned for him and only him. She done fell in love with his too. And in that moment, Zach knew what needed to be done. October 30th, 1899. Halloween night was a pivotal one for Zach, since it was the night that Dorothea claimed him as hers. Only then they would finally be together. Oh shit. The moon hung heavy and full in the sky, casting ominous shadows along the pavement. The bells of Woodvale Church tolled in the distance, and the air was thick with the sickly sweet scent of cypress. Zach stood at the edge of the woods, awaiting Dorothea's arrival. She had arranged a clandestine meeting with him, their last moment together before Zach transformed into someone new. The woods were unnervingly silent. No wind, rustling against the branches. No faint chirping, sounds from the cicadas. Only silence. His mind raced, yet his feet were rooted to the spot. A soft shusharation among the trees caught his attention, and his pulse quickened. Oh shit. There she was, Dorothea Moore. Her silhouette emerged from the trees, ethereal and otherworldly. Like always, Zach was entranced by her, but even more now, with her eyes the color of sapphires, lips stained with crimson, and her silvery voice. She stood before him, a timeless goddess clad in a lacy black dress, cape and heels. Her hand was outstretched almost as if she were reaching for him. My love, she breathed, voice honeysuckle sweet. You came. I told you I would, Zach murmured, his voice just a shy of a whisper. A ghost of a smile crept on Dorothea's lips. Don't be nervous, darling. It'll be very quick. You know what you must do. He nodded tumultuously, though a part of him hesitated. Still, something magnetic pulled him towards her, no matter how hard he resisted, almost like an invisible string. Slowly, he gave in, stepped inside the circle of white candles, and extended his wrists. Dorothea took his hand in hers and entwined their fingers together. I'll be here with you every step of the way and forevermore, my beloved, she reassured him as she procured a shard of glass from the folds of her cloak. She made a deep incision on the underside of Zach's wrist, and scarlet blood spilled thickly in rivulets down his arm. Dorothea's eyes gleamed as she sank to her knees and pressed her lips to his wrist as she drank slow and deliberate. His blood tasted of sacred oaths and sealed fates, sweet and sultry. In the moonlight, he looked subliminal, like a single white lily that bloomed in the midst of a storm. So pure, so innocent, so tragically vulnerable, yet so susceptible to corruption. It was why she needed to save him, just as he unknowingly saved her. A shiver crawled down his spine as Zach heard yet another susurration of voices from multiple directions. Oh shit, she set this nigga up. It almost sounded like a chant, ancient and haunting. He stared up at the moon in a silent prayer as the decadent ambience around him began to shift. The incessant chanting grew louder. The wind became heavier. The flames on the candle were snuffed out, and the scent of ripe hawthorn filtered through the air as Zach stepped through the delicate threshold from his world into immortal. The ritual was complete. Zach was eternally hers. As his eyes turned the same glaucous blue as hers, Dorothea led him out of the forest and through the cemetery, where two weeping angels stood side by side at the entrance gate. A symbol of facing your past, she explained as Zach paused his stride suddenly. Dorothea, he asked, raking a hand through his hair. Yes, my sweet. What happened all those years ago? Did you really do that? Did you really do what Reisenberg is accusing you of? Is that why we're in Bellamy? Dorothea let out a pained sigh and perched on the edge of the grave that read, "Here lies Cordelia Seraphine Valley. Gone but never forgotten. 1782 to 1822. She put a hand on Zach's chest and pulled him closer to her. My sweet Zach, she murmured as she kissed every inch of his face and trailed down to his neck, nibbling slightly at the skin to leave her mark on him. Why don't you sit, my dear? She motioned, patting the area of blackened stone next to her. I will tell you everything. September 13th, 1822, the night of the murder. She stood with her back pressed against the door, looming over her mother's bed. The sharp scent of basil lingered in the air, a telltale sign of the hatred simmering within her. Moonlight seeped into the walls of Hollowbrook Manor, and the night was silent, save for the occasional howling of wolves in the distance. Dorothea had never considered herself a killer, but then again, Cordelia had never seen herself as a mother. Damn. The blood running through her veins had been everything except maternal. In fact, her blood was cursed. You see, Cordelia Vale was a witch, one from the ancient bloodlines who had survived the purgings and trials in Salem. She had witnessed several of her dear friends and relatives hanged or burned at the stake, and she couldn't help but wonder if perhaps she would have suffered the same fate had she not escaped. But she did. And just like every other witch of her time, Cordelia was volatile. She had made a name for herself as Eleanor Gray, a grieving widow in neighboring Bellamy, a serene and picturesque village on the outskirts of Regensburg. She was received as a soft-spoken woman in gray lace and black gloves, her voice always wrapped in sorrow, her eyes always rimmed with red. No one knew exactly where she came from, only that she arrived with a trunk full of books, a silver raven ring, and a black cat that never blinked. What the fuck? But Cordelia harbored a deadly secret of her own. The truth was, Cordelia hated her daughter, loathed her. Ever since she opened her eyes on that forlorn September night in 1804, Cordelia felt a surge of inexplicable disdain towards her. Damn. Every glance at the girl she christened Dorothea was a reminder of the mistake she made, a reminder of the opportunity she lost, a reminder of the chance she never got, a reminder of the life she gave up. And like the very witch she was, she had tried to kill her daughter. Oh, let's make it sense now. The first time that Cordelia had attempted to end the life of her daughter had been on the very day that she was born. There was a blue moon that night, and Cordelia took the girl to the river surrounded by cattails. She had the child wrapped in the same black silk she used for spell bindings, underwater just long enough to feel the twitch of death. The waves lapped softly at her knees, and the current intensified as the girl squirmed and thrashed under her. And then, when she pulled her up, expecting limpness and silence, the baby gasped and began to giggle. The river had rejected the offering. Oh my God. The second attempt came in the form of poison, steeped from the ripe petals of hemlocks when Dorothea was only a mere 5 years old. It had been disguised as a chamomile tea, her favorite, and given to her as a remedy to aid her sleep. Damn, you really trying to take this girl out. Cordelia watched as the girl drank every last sip, scanning every gesture in the moment and with quiet calculation. That night she stood in the wind-swept hallway long after bedtime, listening cautiously as Dorothea's breath slowed, soft at first and then stilled, silence. Cordelia entered the twilight blue room and lingered at the foot of the bed, observing the rise and fall of her daughter's chest. A muted glow spilled from the candle on the armoire, and the poppies on the windowsills swayed gently in the breeze. Dorothea had fallen asleep, but she didn't wake up until the next evening, not until daylight bled into dusk. The tea was different, Mommy. Oh, baby, Dorothea said, her voice too high and lilted, and all that remained was the porcelain teacup that had been cracked along the middle. There were myriads of attempts after that. There were the red scarf left too tightly knotted on a walk in the woods that ended up unspooled around Dorothea's neck. There was a cursed mirror that showed the best part of Dorothea rather than the worst. There were the candles that refused to burn no matter how many times they were knocked over. With every act, Dorothea seemed to blossom. Eventually, Cordelia stopped trying and raised her daughter in the midst of obscurity. Now, in the austere room and under the subdued glow of the flickering candlelight, Dorothea had never abhorred her mother more than in this instant. She didn't know how her mother was able to sleep so tranquilly at night, despite all the ghastly things she had done to her own daughter. But that was the fickle thing about peace. It almost always never lasts. She approached the bed with heightened fervor, her breath fast and sharp like a caged bird finally set free. She clutched an embroidered pillow in her hands, the one Cordelia favored the most, stitched with black delilahs and ivy roots. The room was silent except for the faint ticking sound of the grandfather clock down the hall and the subtle rustling of curtains stirred by a breeze. Cordelia Valley lay still beneath the covers. Her silver hair splayed across her pillow like twinkling moonlight spilled on the base of a rippling lake. She looked so serene, so vulnerable. A flash of unwanted memories rushed through her mind as she pressed the embroidered pillow down over Cordelia's face, just as her eyes snapped open. There was no piercing scream, no reprieve, no mercy. Dorothea didn't feel the pang of guilt that came with ending a person's life. No, she felt liberated. There was something cathartic, exhilarating, as seeing her mother squirm under her, just as she had done the day in the river. Cordelia clawed at Dorothea's waist, or wrist, leaving scratches that bled like vermilion paint, tainting a pure white canvas. She thrashed and squirmed and kicked until finally she stilled. First her arms, followed by her legs, and then her eyes. Cordelia's lips turned an icy blue, and her once translucent skin became pallid as Dorothea removed the pillow and tossed it on the ground. Running a ringed hand through her hair, she no longer felt submerged underwater as she saw her mother's lifeless body splayed on the bed. The memories were gone. The nightmares had finally ceased, but as the night was slowly drawing to a close, the air in the room seemed to shift, cool and metallic, like the scent of rain before a torrent. The candles on the mantelpiece was snuffed out, the wolfsbane adorning the windowsill wilted, and Cordelia's spirit was more alive than ever. She wasn't going to leave this world and let the memory of her fade. No, she had to leave a lasting legacy, an imprint that forced everyone to remember her whether they wanted to or not. Since Dorothea had survived every possible attempt on her life, Cordelia turned to one thing she knew best as a witch: curses. Right before her final moments, Cordelia had cast a portrait prison curse. Dorothea's soul would be imprisoned within the frame of a painting.
Oh, shit.
Her likeness forever frozen in brushstrokes and varnish. A prison of canvas and oil, where time did not pass a silent scream. She would be forced to watch the world through the veil apart, unable to speak, to move, to die. The only way she would be freed is if someone dared to ever look her in the eyes, and so she became immortal, forever confined within a canvas. Then Zack found her, beautiful, sweet Zack, her savior, her hero. He had broken the curse that had been bestowed upon her all those years ago. He'd save her. He'd free her. And now they will both live forever untouched by death. Present day. Dorothea and Zack's story was one that most failed to understand. A complex thread woven out of dark desires and torturous past. Outwardly, their love story appeared as tragedy. A Shakespearean ballad that only ended in melancholia. There your vocabulary. But to them, it was eternity. It was in the way Zack looked at her, as if she were both the moth and the flame, the wound and the cure. It was in the way that Dorothea whispered his name, like a prayer and a curse all at once, binding him closer with every breath. The love story was rare. They didn't seek happiness in the same manner that others did. They craved something heavier, something spellbinding, something alive. When they touched, it wasn't with tenderness, but a desperate, quiet reverence. They memorized every part of each other, every flaw, Their love story was a devotion stitched with scars, beautiful, raw, and utterly indestructible. To the world, they were intertwined souls, circling a drain of their own making. To each other, they were home. Dorothea pressed a lingering kiss to Zack's forehead, her lips a silent vow against his skin. Without a word, she laced her fingers through his, their hands fanning together like a secret only they knew. Side by side, they ascended the weather-red brick stairs of Hollowbrook Manor, a place forgotten by the world, but waiting for them. There, beneath the heavy hush of the evening sky, they belonged to no one but each other. And that was all they ever would need.
Is it supposed to be like they turned this into a love story? Like,
This supposed to be romantic? She killed your girlfriend, Zack.
I'm sorry, that threw me. I'm like,
Now, her mama, I get it.
yeah, the mom, it makes sense, but like,
She killed your girlfriend.
I was looking for horror. We done got dark romance.
I mean, I wasn't trying to get that. That was horrifying.
There's a dark romance. Because why are we trying to get romantic with it?
It's not. Look, y'all, this is not something we should be glorifying. I understand what she did with her mother. You know what I mean? Her mom tried to kill her multiple times. I know y'all can have that similar feeling where your mother literally hates the fuck out of you and literally like just regrets having you, but she was not here.
Her mom was kind of extreme though.
She tried to like
Try to off her mom
before the girl was even 5. When she was born, the day she was born, she literally like that's how you know.
That's crazy.
The only way she could really try to ruin a girl's life is by putting a curse on her. And she did it at like right before she died. Cause I think she knew that Dorothy was trying to come get her ass. That's fucked up.
Talk about evil motherfucker. I'm still kind of blown by the whole love story spin of it all.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting all that. I'm like, what? The more you read it, I'm just like, what's,
I was confused too.
what's happening?
I didn't know what was happening. Well, there you go.
When you pick out a random horror story from Wattpad,
Everything gotta end with love.
I'm
In a
like,
sick, twisted way.
this is why Wattpad has its fucking reputation. I'm like, y'all can't even write a damn horror story without turning it into a romance.
It's crazy. It's wicked.
Oh my god. Okay. Wormlings, y'all let us know what your thoughts are about that first one. I guess we already talked about ours. We didn't see that shit coming. That shit, like, that shit took a turn. But all right, on to me and my story that I'm about to read, not mine, but someone else's. So it's a collection of short stories. So I'm just gonna do one. This is by someone named Gray_Dragoness, and it's just called Horror Stories. It's just called Horror Stories. So we're just gonna read the first one. Horror Story 1. Ooh,
Spooky.
Mommy, I'm scared. The boy screamed for his mother, turning around and seeing a dark-clothed figure chasing him with a knife. When the wind blew the hood down, it was his mother with a sickly grin on her face, a spaced-out look, burn marks, and deep gashes over her face, and pale blue eyes. Mommy? Mommy, no! To this day, people walk through the streets on Halloween night and hear the cackle of the mother, the screams of her son, and the thudding of his body as it hits the cold pavement. What's that behind you? That's a real short story. Horror story. That's a hell of a short horror story. I feel like I could probably get through all her short horror stories then.
Probably want to read another one.
Alright, so we're just gonna go through all of her short horror stories. Horror Story 2. It was a dark and stormy night, and the old mansion looked lived in. A couple, a middle-aged man with his younger wife and their son Mark, just moved in, not knowing the house's creepy past with its past owners that mysteriously disappeared. They didn't worry. They didn't need to. Or did they? The next day, on Mark's first day of school, they heard a dog barking. When did we get a dog? Mark asked, looking at his mom who was standing behind him. We didn't. The mother took a quick glance at the father, who sipped his coffee and read his paper at the kitchen table. Must be your imagination, son. Off to school. Mark trudged off to the bus stop, thinking about the barking dog he heard. He didn't have neighbors. If he did, they didn't have a dog. So, what dog was barking? Was it trying to send him a message? So now we're skipping to after school. Mark stared out the bus window as the bus rolled up to his stop. There, with a tail wagging, sat a dog, its eyes seeming to say, "Here I am, master." When Mark stepped off, the dog jumped up on him, making him stumble a little. A girl got off behind him. "What's going on? Are you okay?" Then, Mark realized it must be the same ghost dog that he heard barking this morning. Yeah, I'm fine. Little did he know, he was far from fine. Opening the front door of the house, he called to his parents, only eerie silence answering him. His parents never left the house since neither of them were working. Mark cautiously and quietly explored the house to see if he could find them. Then, he saw blood dripping from the closet in their room, a finger visible beneath the door. Under the bed, Mark discovered a pile of bones, ratty old bones that might have been there from their previous owners of the very house. Then he heard footsteps coming from the top of the stairs from the attic, then cackling. "It's your turn," a female voice called out.
Oh, shit.
A candle and knife floating down toward Mark as the doors and windows locked. And now there's a ad. Fucking WhatsApp ad. Not WhatsApp. Wattpad. Wattpad fucking ad. Oh my god.
I hated they started doing that.
Horror Story 3. A woman wanted her daughter and son to stop crying. Visiting them at their graves didn't help at all.
What?
Wait, what?
That's it? When she said short, she had fucking a sentence.
Right, that shit was literally
Hey, man.
one sentence. Okay, Horror Story 4.
Right.
Okay. A girl hears a dog whimpering under her bed. That worries her since she doesn't have a dog. She gets up and looks under the bed, seeing a scared Yorkshire Terrier huddled underneath the bed. When she goes to see what the pooch was so scared of, she sees a body hanging from the ceiling right outside her door. Letting out a screech, she crawls under the bed and lies frozen in fear beside the little dog. When she turns to the terrier, the animal isn't there. Instead, in its place, is a human body that is all mangled up and bloody. In a broken voice, it says, "I've been waiting for you, my dear." The girl is found the next day after neighbors reported strange sightings. Her body looks just like the body she is lying next to. Ooh.
First of all, this author loves dogs.
Yeah.
Just got a thing for the dogs. Okay, go ahead.
Horror story 5. Being in a graveyard is creepy. I wonder if the couple behind me is afraid. Wait, there's nobody behind me. That's it.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
She said we're going to have some that are sentences and some that are short stories.
Okay.
Okay, horror story 6.
6.
I'm not doing that one. I'm not reading
The
that.
hell? Oh, yeah, no, we skipping that. She's trying to have us do a seance of this bitch.
Nah.
No. Is that it? That was the last one. That was the last one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to have us do a seance. Wormlings.
You think you slick?
Don't. You gotta be careful. So you gotta scan the scope before you get to this shit. Deadly.
Because this one is kind of just for fun.
Just for fun.
We know better.
Yeah,
Hell no, girl. Okay, so that completes the short story horror stories. Honestly, in my opinion, this one is the best one. The second one, because I think that's the most like thorough one.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah,
tell me what y'all think.
I want to go read. I go read it. Yeah,
that's on you.
Yeah, but
if you decide to do that, I'm not your mommy. I'm not gonna sit here and that's on
we
you.
just not gonna. Ain't that
We're
right?
not doing that because we know damn fucking better. Missy knows what's up. Missy said, "Bitch, I'm a witch. I know better than to do some shit like that."
And I just want to go ahead and pop this in really quickly, just because I feel like we just got so thrown off by like that last like story that we was not gonna read horror story 6, that we didn't really give like full-on thoughts and opinions on it. Right now I'm not home, so I can't really get my girls' opinion right now, so I'll just go ahead and give mine. I feel like we lightly did, but I do want to say that I feel like between the two, I guess between the two stories, the one that she read and the ones that I read, I feel like she definitely got the better one. It was like we basically read an extra long short story and then like a collection of sentences and small paragraphs. That was basically what mine was, that I had read. And I will say with the one that I read, I feel like I like the fact that it didn't end in some weird dark romance love bullshit, because that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I was looking for. It's a little spooky ooky. It's definitely a little more on the more basic side of things. Something to keep in mind, like the people that write these Wattpad stories could very much well be like teenagers. I think one of them may or may not be a teenager. So, and I think the other one may or may not be a child teenager too. Who knows when it was written, right? So it's like, obviously, maybe the writing skills are probably not going to be like top tier. So that's something else I got to keep in mind too. But we was just really just giving our opinions on it face value without any other context. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, it didn't spook me out. But cool little read. You know what I'm saying? Cool little Halloween read activity.
I'm about to read some shit. Some certain things you got to be careful with. Even with reading these horror stories and stuff, like, we're going to spray some Florida water around here afterwards, you know what I'm saying? Because
get the energy back right here.
Just to get the energy back. I actually don't like horror genre stuff.
Like spooky.
Did you get spooked by her very long short story?
It was a good one, though.
It was a little questionable,
Towards the end, I don't know. Yeah. It was questionable throughout the whole thing, though, to be honest.
Yeah, but, y'all comment down below which one you like more, who got the better storytelling skills. It's okay, we'll let y'all decide. Mitzi's just kind of sitting there like, bitch, it's me. I'm the best storyteller here. But that is it for Spooktober, wormlings. That is it. That is all. I had a good time. I hope y'all had a good time. I know Mitzi here had a good time. A new addition to our family here. Well, my family, because I don't know y'all like that. But I don't know why I didn't just put her broom right there on her thing, like she's riding the broom. Yeah. What the fuck, Tab? Like, this whole time I could have had her looking like she riding the broom. This whole time. But yeah,
Oh. It's fine.
It's not. If y'all want to name her something different, comment down some suggestions below. For now, she's just Mitzi. And I will see y'all next month, month of November. Happy Halloween from Mike, Sully, and Mitzi the Witch. Yeah. See y'all soon.
Bye, wormlings.